Welcome back to another edition of Build Kit Review, and this time I'm going to be showing you guys this 1947 Ford from Revell. This model was built from the Police Coupe kit, and I turned it into a 1947 Ford. That is very easy if you really want to do it. This car was painted on factory Ford color of Monsoon Maroon. The paint I used was synthetic enamel automotive, and like I always do, I used my homemade foil. This 47 Ford, like I told you guys, is quite easy to do. You just have to have in mind that from 1947 to 1948, the actual modifications on those cars were really small. From the outside, you could differentiate the 47 and the 48 by the door lock. That the 47 had an indentation for your thumb to roll away the cap, and so you could insert the key. And the 1948 cars had a little teardrop design on the cover, so you could push the teardrop aside to insert your key. Also, the late 47 and 48 cars had many aluminum body parts, like these three-piece rear splash pan that on late 47 and on 48 cars were aluminum. Ford also had many other aluminum parts, but on a model they would be invisible because they would be painted just like steel, so you wouldn't know the difference. Also on the firewall there was a change from the 1947 model to the 1948. Ford changed the horns and also the wiring around the engine, so the wiring is different. Like I didn't add any wiring to this car, it can be either a 1947 or a 1948. Also, the 1948 had a brand new interior upholstery color that was the dark blue, solid dark blue, and the 47 cars had the only option being gray with stripes. I didn't add the stripes, of course, but I painted the interior gray to represent what would be a factory stock 1947 Ford. And this body style is not a coupe, like I said on my previous videos. This body style is a sedan coupe because it has a rear seat. And it was a new thing that Ford introduced in 1941 when this basic body style was introduced, and was kept for a very long time, later being renamed a Club Coupe. What I did on this build here was basically to keep it box stock on the outside. I even used the stock tires that came on the kit that have no name. I just painted the white walls, and the white walls were painted airbrushing testers flat white acrylic with a circle template on the tire. Also, this little white pinstriping you see on the wheel was made with acrylic paint and a small brush, using my Dremel tool as a lathing to rotate the wheel while I painted these little pinstriping, and I did it on all 4 wheels. But even though this car can be called factory stock on the interior, that's all factory stock, and outside here on the rear you see some little giveaways that the car is not so stock. Dual exhaust. Dual exhaust was not even an option in 1947 or 1948. So something is going on with this car. Yes. What I did with this car was a little kit bash. I installed the engine with the speed parts from the Custom Coupe into this car. You have Navajo heads, you have a Navajo intake that uses 2 Ford carburetors, you have a chrome oil filter that was in my parts box, and the generator is also chrome. The dual exhaust system is from the Custom Coupe. So I only added the parts from the Custom Coupe to this factory stock 47 Ford. I wouldn't even call it a hot rod because the modifications are so small. It basically consists of the carburetors, the heads, intake, and the exhaust. The rest of the car you can call factory stock. And it is just an updated 47 Ford with a little more power, keeping the good old 239 Ford V8 in place. And those are quite nice cars to drive. I'll be doing a review also on another 48 Ford I have, a convertible that I think deserves a build kit review other than this one. The kit itself goes together very nicely. There are no fit issues, no problems whatsoever of this sort. Only the rear window, or the backlight, like some of you may know it, is so small that there's almost no place for you to actually place the glue. And this was the only hard part on building this kit, was installing the rear window, because there is almost zero space for it to go. Other than that, very easy to do. The chrome around the windows here is present on the clear parts. You just have to foil the clear parts before installing. And no secret there. Of course, the grille has to be painted body color before installing, and you just leave chrome those little teeth. The rest of the grille is body color, as you can see. It's not all chrome like it comes on the tree. And the hardest part to foil for sure was the trim ring on the wheel. That was a very hard part to foil. The trim rings on the wheels are not separate parts. They are molded into the wheels and you have to foil them. And that's not for the faint of heart. Guys, I hope you liked this build I did on the Revell 48 Ford Police Coupe that I turned it into a 1947 Ford Super Deluxe Sedan Coupe factory stock. Well, this little noise you guys are hearing in the background are those guys there. Yeah. This girl here appeared here in my house about 4 months ago, and I adopted her. And my mother was around the day I adopted her, and my mother named her Princess Leia, as my mother is a huge fan of Star Wars. What happened about 2.5 months, about 2 months later was, well, we discovered that Princess Leia was, let's say, how can I explain that? Princess Leia was going to give birth. Yeah. And so now we have a new family member that I, being a Star Trek fan, called Kirk. That is this little guy here. He is 50 days old today. I have to take Kirk to the vet to get his shots, and to take a look on his eye. That's a little inflamed, and he's going there tomorrow. But this guy here is only 50 days old. And take a look. He's quite big for 50 days. Especially because he was just one cat in the litter. Maybe because his mom was herself still a kid. Still a kitten. And I was wondering, why wasn't she getting into heat? So I could get her fixed. Well, she was not getting into heat because Mom Leia had a little surprise inside. Oops. Well, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Have a great week, and bye-bye.